the difficulties. So my name is László. I work for Attention CRM Consulting. And my presentation is about Salesforce release highlights from the past 2 releases. A few words about myself. I'm a senior developer. I work for Attention CRM for almost 5 years. And I also do the in-house trainings. I work with the Sales, Service, and Marketing Cloud, also work with Pardo and Heroku. And I've done more than 25 projects. So the agenda is about the winter 20 and the spring 20 releases. And just a few trivia about these releases. So the winter 20 was released in the October 40th, and the release notes is 602 pages, so lots of information in the release notes. I don't know if you know that Salesforce also releases this release in a box short slides, where they compress all these 600 pages to 120 slides, and they also do. They also have a YouTube channel called Salesforce Releases, and they release videos. This release had 63 videos, and it's more than 2 hours and 30 minutes long. So yeah, it's a lot, and I had to compress it even more. My favorite feature in this release was the Lightning Recycle Bin. In Classic we had this, but after switching to Lightning, the feature was not there, so we always had to go back to the Classic to see the deleted items and restore them if it was needed. It's available from the app launcher. If you just click on the app launcher, you can just search for a recycle bin and you will find it. It has all the same features as the Classic one, and some Lightning-related list view features also. The next feature is you can now have a unique count values in the reports. So you can, if you go to the report editor, you can now set a show unique count on a column, and it will show you how many unique items are in the results. This feature is not turned on by default, so you have to go to the setup and go to the reports and dashboard settings and enable it for yourself. You can now start a flow from a schedule. So you can schedule a flow to start on a set date and set time. You can set also the frequency, and you can choose the objects for this flow. So there's no need for stupid workarounds with Apex anymore. Can you see this? You can add 2 new components to your home pages, tabs, seen here, and the other one is this. I don't know. It's just slides down. So these are new components. You can add. These are on the record pages and detail pages. So. In the past release, there was a new feature where you can change quote line item and opportunity products order. There was a similar one in Classic, but now it's available in Lightning. You can have, I think it's 200 of the line items that you can reorder. So if you have more than 200 related items, there's a limit for that. I don't know if you know about that. Salesforce now has a survey feature, and you can send surveys from Process Builder. This feature is now available with a limited capabilities, like the number of responses are limited. But if you use this, now you can send them from Process Builder. One of my favorite report-related new thing is you can now filter across columns. So if you add a filter, you can now choose if you want to filter with another column. So you can change the type to field, and you can select another column with the same data type, and you can cross-filter with that values. And more like a developer-related new feature is that you can use Lightning Web Components in flows for screen flows. So you can Lightning Web Component is Salesforce's new and powerful tool for developing custom views, and you can now use it in flows instead of the more limited screen flow editor. And also one of the better features is that you can now send related files in emails, so you don't have to download them and reattach them to your emails if you want to send them. It's in the sidebar. You can just choose related files, and all of the related files for the objects are listed there. And yeah, these were the winter ones. I think you might be familiar with this one because it was more in the past. But the new release, the Spring 20, is around the corner. It's February the 17th, and it's similar in size. The videos are a bit shorter, so if you want to check them out, you can spend less time with them. So one of the biggest features is that Einstein opportunity scoring is now free for everyone. So you can now enable it if you have the requirements. The requirements are, I think, 20 opportunities closed in the past 6 months. And the median lifespan of the closed opportunity should be more than 7 days in the last 6 months. So if you have that, you can now enable them, and they will appear in the Lightning list use, and you can also check the scoring in the detail page. Also, they have positives and negatives listed there, so it's a nice feature. And sorry, yeah, yeah. So the scoring is based on opportunity behavior. So it checks your past opportunities and analyzes them, and it establishes some kind of pattern. It checks the pattern for newer opportunities, and if the pattern is okay, and it calculates a score for it. So it was available before, but it was an extra add-on in the Einstein feature set. I don't think that's possible with Einstein, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's mostly an out-of-the-box feature, and it works on its own. And also the scoring is from 1 to 99, so there's no 0 and no 100%. I don't know if any of you remember the classic URL hacking, that if you wanted to develop some custom screens, you wanted to pre-populate some fields when you create a record or edit them. With Lightning, that was unavailable. There were some workarounds, but mostly it was unavailable. But now it's back, and you can now pre-populate fields when you create like an account. This is there's more detailed in the release notes and in the documentation, but this is just a brief review of that. You can use anything that you could use in a formula or in a past when you use the JavaScript buttons and URL buttons. So this new feature is about searching. If you search for like contacts and opportunities, then the account is now visible in the search result view. So you can see the global media is the account for this opportunity. I think it's a nice feature. You can now assign queues to tasks, which is, as I heard, is a highly requested feature. Now you can do it. So the queues can now have tasks. One of my favorite features from this release is that you can now edit cases from the list use. So if you just hover over the subject, you can now have this pop-up, and there's an edit button, as you can see in the corner. And you can click it, and you can edit the case details. So it just speeds up the process of editing some items in the list view. Also, if you can see, there's a red arrow. Oh, it's a different slide. Okay, no. So the other feature is case merge. There's a new feature. It's a out-of-the-box case merge. It's not that powerful. What it does is you can merge 3 cases, up to 3 cases. And if you merge cases, you can choose if you want to delete the merged cases or add to a related list under merged cases. What it doesn't do is the emails and related objects are kept on the original case, so it doesn't propagate up to the master case. So there's a limitation for that. Also, you can see that the merged case is labeled with the merged prefix. Also, sorry, this feature is need to be enabled. It's in the feature settings, service, and case merge, and you can choose if you want to delete the case or just connect it to the master case under merged cases. And the red arrow I was talking about. So if you have a case and it's escalated, so there's a checkbox for that called escalated. So if you check that checkbox, the case now has a red arrow before its subject. So now you can check if a case needs more attention from a list view or anywhere from where a subject appears. So it's in every view. There's a new, 2 new custom standard objects in Salesforce. This called contact point email and contact point phone. It's part of the GDPR advances Salesforce did in the past. What it enables you is you can now have multiple email addresses and multiple phone numbers, for example, for an account. So before you either had one field, or you could add custom fields for that, or you could use the contacts. But from now, you can have multiple email addresses, multiple phone numbers in related objects. So it makes working with multiple company emails and phone numbers and these kind of things more easier. And it's more of a, I don't know if any of you use custom integrations, but the API limits have been raised from 50,000 to 100,000 per day. This is the baseline, and this also grows with your licenses. So I think this is a nice feature. And also the daily cap is removed. There is a hard limit, 1 million API requests per day. Now it's gone. And one of the nicer features is that you can actually go above the your daily limits, because now it's calculated for in a 30-day period. So you now have a 30-day period limit. You can go over that. Yeah. And thank you.